building, there's a little shed that looks like an outhouse next to it with a window. That's the phone shanty. The Amish can have a phone for emergencies or business,
En esa casita tienen
not for
teléfono.
leisure activities.
En esa
If they
casita
have a
tienen
phone, they
teléfono
have to
por
keep it outside the house. So they
emergencia
build
nada
little
más.
sheds. They call them phone shanties, like that one.
ahí tienen el teléfono de emergencia.
To show you how far away that is from their house, the house is behind the barn building. It's the building with the two chimneys behind the tree there. And that's their phone in front of the barn. They have quite a walk to their phone. Another Amish property here to the right. As you can see how neatly they keep their
Dice que
property.
esos carritos cuestan $10,000.
Now, when they don't allow their children to ride bicycles, they allow them to have pony carts pushed by miniature ponies. There's a miniature pony right there at the right. So their children ride around on miniature pony carts. I don't know, if I was a kid, I'd rather have a pony cart than a bike, I think. This farm to the right raises those miniature ponies. It's an Amish farm. This farmhouse is called what's known as a Doadi house. It's 3 generations of one family living under one roof. The Amish don't believe in nursing homes, and elderly live with them. Plus they have 8 to 10 children each family. So you could have quite a number of people living in these Doadi houses. So many people live on this property. They have 2 vegetable gardens, one here and one on the other side of the house. The original red brick portion of this house to the right was built in the 1850s, and they added extensions on both sides for the family. Here's their other vegetable garden here. And if you look beyond the vegetable garden, there's a high fenced area to the right. You'll see deer. The Amish raise deer for the meat, venison, also to stock game farms for other hunters. And they raise deer for the substance that grows on deer antlers. It's called moss. They sell the substance to medical laboratories for medical research. We're coming up on the right on another Amish business. Now, if you're wandering around here on your own in your car and you see a business like this with a sign out on the roadway, Stolfus New and Used Furniture, they have a sign on the roadway. They're inviting the public in. You could drive down the driveway and go inside and see what they're selling. They sell new and used furniture there. They also sell the washing machines the Amish use, their own wringer washers. When I've met on my tour, I usually tell them that would make a wonderful anniversary gift for your wife. One of those old roller washers. You can call me and let me know how that worked out.
Okay.
Here we have an Amishman working the field here to the left, if you look.
Ahí está un Amish trabajando,
And to the right, that big building with no windows is a modern hen house, much bigger than the Amish ones. That's a non-Amish farm or an English farm. They have giant fans under those awnings. It's all electric. If you look to the left, there's an Amishman with his mule team spraying his fields.
Wow, parece los antiguos allá en la plan, ¿ves? Con caballos, anda fumigando.
We'll be making a right-hand turn at this stop sign.
No sé qué son esos.
Now on the right here you have that non-Amish farm, the English farm. On the left is an Amish farm. As I said, they live among the non-Amish or English farmers. They get along quite well. Now most people don't realize this has nothing to do with the Amish. This is Lancaster County history. The southern border of Lancaster County is the Mason-Dixon line. That was an imaginary line drawn by politicians to separate slave states from free states back in the 1800s. Because of our proximity to Maryland, a slave state, many runaway slaves came through Lancaster, and the Underground Railroad was quite active here. In fact, the next farm we're coming up on here to the left, behind this brown corral fence, is Beechdale. It was a Quaker farm back in the 1800s. It was owned by the Gibbons family. The Gibbons family had a stop on the Underground Railroad right here. They hid runaway slaves on this farm in a cave on the farm and the root cellar. The Gibbons family is credited with helping over 1,000 runaway slaves escape to freedom. And that's not the original building there on the left. They built over it. The original foundation and the cave where they hid slaves are on the property. We're turning right here on Gibbons Road. The road was named after that Quaker family. Now back to the Amish. These are Amish properties we're approaching here on the left. See, an Amish woman just collected her mail here. Now these homes are rather large usually because the Amish have 8 to 10 children currently in their own families. The average is 8 to 10. It was larger in the old days. The second house here on the left is of interest. It was built about 30 years ago by an Amish couple. They immediately asked their bishop for permission to electrify their house. They asked for that permission because they had a newborn daughter that required a respirator 24 hours a day. The Amish bishop granted them their request. It just shows you the Amish have their rules, but they're willing to break them for the correct reasons, humanitarian reasons. We're following this buggy because we will be stopping shortly up by that red building ahead. The red building on our left ahead of us is another Amish one-room schoolhouse. Now this red building is significant because this was the last public one-room schoolhouse in this area. Up into the 1950s, everyone here in this rural area went to one-room schoolhouses for the 1st to 8th grades. The non-Amish children went with the Amish children together to these schools. After the 8th grade, the Amish kids would go home and work on the farm because the Amish do not believe in education beyond the 8th grade. That's all they feel you need to be saved. So the non-Amish kids would go on to high school and college. The Amish kids would go back to work on the farm. We're pulling off the road here just slightly to stop. Beginning in the 1950s, states such as Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Wisconsin started passing state laws requiring children to stay in school to age 16. That would put the children in the middle of high school. The Amish flatly refused to do that, saying that they don't need anything beyond an 8th grade education to be saved. Because they didn't send their children to high school, every fall the Amish fathers would be arrested and sent to jail for up to 3 months or fined a couple of $100 for not sending their children to school. And this went on for over 20 years.
Wow.
Until an Amish family in Wisconsin sued their school district. The court case went through the state courts to the Supreme Court. In 1972, the Supreme Court issued a decision, Yoder versus Wisconsin, which gave the Amish the right to pull their children out of school after the 8th grade on the basis of religious freedom. The Amish then did something very clever. They knew the public schools were getting out of the one-room schoolhouses. They were trying to sell them. So the Amish bought all the one-room schoolhouses very cheaply from the public schools. And they keep repairing them and repairing them. They're over 100 years old. When they can't repair them any longer, they do build replacements like that brick one we saw behind us. Coming up, you'll see 2 businesses. The one on the left is a Mennonite bakery. The one on the right is an Amish tractor dealer. It's got a windmill on the roof to provide the electricity needed for their business office. Everyone says an Amish tractor dealer, they don't use tractors. The Amish actually do use tractors. They're forbidden to use tractors to plow the fields. They can use tractor motors as mobile power sources because they're not connected to the outside world. The Amish will buy a tractor, they'll pull the rubber wheels off the tractor and put steel wheels on them. And they use the tractor motor using belts and pulleys to propel a pump and pump manure out of the manure pit, or they'll hook the tractor motor up to a blower and blow grain into the silos. You cannot use the plow to plow the fields. To the left here is another Amish property. See the laundry hanging out there. This Amish property answers the age-old question, do the Amish wear underwear? They're always hanging underwear out to dry. Their side business is Eversole's fabric. If you look down the driveway, you'll see a swing set for their children. You'll also see, if you look carefully, a trampoline. Amish children love trampolines. Almost every Amish property has at least one trampoline. Coming up is an Amish property to the left. That white building with the green roof is a buggy repair shop owned and operated by an Amish family. If you look carefully beyond this cornfield here, right to the left, you'll see another trampoline. Look carefully. The Amish family that run that business live right here, right next to it. Now I showed you that Doady house behind us with the 3 generations of one family living in the one house. The Amish either do it that way, or they have their grandparents and children